Good. Welcome. I got a packed house today. Everybody looks good. Some look like you showered, some don't. Anyways, we have a few pieces of recognition. I'm excited for we got a few people pass the exam. We're going to split up in just a second for our orientation meeting for people that are here for the first time. But we do want to recognize a couple people that passed the exam. So I don't know who hired all these people. Who hired John? Was that Matt, Tiffany?
Alright, so I want to congratulate John for passing this test. When he started, he accidentally scheduled this test. He thought he was scheduling it for next Wednesday, but he scheduled it for the very next day. So he just pulled an all-nighter, 9 hours, probably less, passed the test. So it takes all excuses away when you get the right way. Going to the class, there's no reason you shouldn't pass it. But really proud of John, so just give a hand for John.
Stay down!
Both Anthony and Rick are with me, but I'll start with Jones. So a little bit about Jones. So I actually he's a best friend of my younger brother who's here today as well, and grew up with him. He also worked with me when I worked for my past employer, and he was the guy of all the other little crew that I was always calling my brother to work because he always gets after it. And I'm so proud of him. He's not even allowed to be in the system technically yet because of a little mishap in a different office. So he went out and he says, you know what, I'm not going to stop. He's been coming to all the meetings, not letting anything get in front of him. He's like, you know what, that's fine. That's going to be a part of my story. Right? And he went out and he passed his first time. And I'm just so proud. Yet he can't even go into our office until technically September 9th. So please give a warm congratulations.
Irish brother, They always took care of my dad. Even when my dad was sick, Rich always called and checked in on him. I actually started working for him. Mr. Matthew owns a couple of restaurants and he is a successful business owner. So when I brought him in, honestly, I was just like, thank you for this brother. And he actually knew Bruce Scott and Bruce's cousin. Heard of Primerica, went to seminars back in the day. He started into the restaurant industry at that time, but ever since then he has been advocating what we teach. He's so passionate about it, and now I have him on my team. Now all the advice he's been giving, he's like, now let me get paid, right? So pass his first exam on the first time. Please, big congratulations to Mr.
Somebody else passed. We have have her on the slide now? That's my fault. Because she showed it great. But hold on, I'm gonna give you recognition. S5 Lean passed her exam on the first shot. We're very excited. She's ready to set appointments to make money. She works at a mattress store, and she hates it, right? Right? She's on probation. Her job. Job get probation. Like they have a parole officer and a probation officer. Like you gotta check in. And she's like, I'm on probation. I'm like, really? Like, how'd you get your license? She's like, no, at my job. I mean, I know we have a lot of people in here on probation. Some of y'all on parole. You just got out. You know? But she's like, no, at my job. I was like, their job. I was like, jobs get probation now? What the hell? Are we kids? But hey, I'm so proud of you. And I mean that. This test, she's from Haiti, and you guys know when I lived in Florida, the offices are all Haitian, and they do really well. Charlemagne's a great friend of mine, 800,000 on Herndon. I was telling her she can be as big as him, so I'm very, very excited for you. Let's give a huge round of applause for S5 All right, if you're here for the first time, we appreciate you coming. We're going to follow Ricardo back into the orientation room. Everybody else can move up and take a seat. Let's give it up for our visitors. Right.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
packed room. All right, let's do our top 10 out award. Why is showing up so important? Yeah, why is it so important? And I'm asking you because you always show up.
Because in a sense it keeps your head in the game and lets you know that, no matter what's going on, all these people are around you, they're all going through the same thing. Supporting the group, it keeps you enthusiastic.
So, the gym I go to, we work out in a group, right? Which that was extremely awkward for me at the beginning. I was like, and you guys know that the girls that work out in my group are like, they're the deal. I mean, like, not strong, they're fit. They're like, one of the people is like a top competitor in the whole country. I mean, she's amazing. She's gymnast. I mean, these girls, I'm not intimidated by the guys. The guys, yeah, they're big, they're huge, they're just way too, just like, come on. You don't need to be that big for what? It's just like Kevin Hart says, you're all big and you work at T-Mobile, right? Hello? You're just so big, just, come on. Like Kelvin. Like, come on, Kelvin. Why are you so big, man? But the girls are the ones that intimidate you. You're like, damn, dude, like, how are you? Like, it's crazy. And so, everything about the gym that I went to, because I'm from, I went to just you go work out, have your workout written, and you have 3 sets, and after one, you just leave. You're like, I'm tired, I'll just come back, and you see a couple of people, and you talk to them, and that's all you do is you talk to them. That's what I used to do, right? So I went into this new gym, and I do CrossFit, and, you work out in a class, and, there's times, and you race, and all these things, and at the beginning, it was very, very uncomfortable. And, so I'm working out, and I'd always be, especially in the beginning, the last one to finish. And so, they'd all, huddle around me and be like, come on. I'm like, get the hell out of here, man. I don't want you around me. Like, let me do my slow workout in peace. I don't want you to push me, But then, because they're watching me, you just go a little bit faster. You go, and it actually worked. And one thing they said about the group was there is accountability. Because, and they don't do it on purpose, but because, I go most of the time I work out at 12 o'clock. I work out at noon, right? So every day I work out, and there's the same people in the group. And if you miss, like right now, because I'm surgery, that's why, I'm not as swollen as I normally am. Usually, what I'm saying. Usually is. I'm just a little bit, lost a little water weight, So usually, so I've been out for 3 weeks, and when I go back, they're gonna make me feel bad. No one will ever make me feel bad, but you feel like you let your teammates down a little bit. That's why attendance is always so important. Now, some people have legitimate reasons why they're not here. Okay, they do. And I'm not saying that. Hey, we love you. If you come. If you can't, you can't. But for me, I always grew up playing sports. Always. Okay. Now I wasn't always the best. I was pretty competitive. A lot of you guys know, but I was good enough to be on some really good teams. I was never the best player. A lot of times I was captain, not because I was the best, because I was always a leader, and I showed up. And what my dad would always make me do, is so funny, T, that even if I was sick, I couldn't miss practice. I still had to go to practice, I just sat out. Right? You'd go in the bleachers and sit out. You couldn't, so there's no point in being sick. Because sick at school, you could at least stay home. Play video games, watch TV, sleep all day. But sick in practice, it's like, no. You still went. You just had to sit on the bleachers. And that ingrained a work ethic of just showing up. And that's why, like, look, for getting people here, right, this is the trick that Primerica has. And this is where we need leadership, right? I recruit Tara. What does that mean? She pays me money. She gives, not me. I don't get 8% of that. They always remember, when we recruit people, this isn't a legal pyramid. You get somebody's money, we don't get a penny of it. Okay? It's not like some of these other network marketing, multi-level marketing. You get a recruit and they pay $500, you make $400. What does that mean? Your work is done. I can sell you on a bill of goods. Also, this is the easiest thing in the world. You can sit back and you're going to make money residually. You don't have to work, you don't have to set appointments, nothing, and you're going to make a lot of money. Because once she pays, I get paid. The work is done. But here, if I hire somebody and they pay, now it's a commitment. They made a commitment, I make a commitment. I actually have to go to work. I got to take them out in the field. I got to help them set appointments. I got to go see their, crazy family, right? That knows it all. They're broke, but they know it all, right? They want to tell you how to do business, right? No, I don't have any money, but let me give you some advice. Like when I got married, right? When you get married no more, everybody tries to give you some advice. Hey, listen. On my first 3 marriages, whoa! I'm trying to stay married. Like I went to Miami, right, on Tuesday, and I brought Ricky with me. He's like, "Why are you bringing me?" I'm trying to stay married. I go to Miami by myself. I don't want no. I don't travel alone. You think I travel alone? You're my innocent bystander. We shared the bed, okay? Yes, we spooned a little bit. 3 days, you get alone. Thank you, Ricky, for being my support. But anyway, travel alone? Crazy. Anyway, but you guys got to get people to show up. We hire, I don't know how many people, we hired 3 recruits yesterday. They got to be here, man. You got to tell them. If they don't show up, they're going to die a slow death in Primerica. Always remember that. I know, I wish it wasn't like that. I wish we could just sit at home and email people. Trust me. If I could do this business at home, I would do it. Now, I do enjoy training. I love seeing everybody. You guys are my family. But if there was a path of least resistance, I would take it. But meetings are everything. Everything. In the world we live in, with cell phones and Twitter and text messages, people get so distracted. If we can't get them here for a couple hours a week where they can be focused, where they can learn, where they can be trained, where they can have accountability, where we can get them to the next level, it's not going to work. And nothing makes me feel better than seeing this. Okay, a bunch of new people, a bunch of people passing the test, and bringing people with guests, which is awesome. But we got to take it up a notch. Okay, the people that we hire, we have to get them. All right. So if you are both district leader and below, stand up. It's everybody that's new, district leader and below. You have one person on your team who stays standing. 2, 3, 4. How many? 8. Oh, wow. Get over Tara. Division leaders, stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cheerleader, stand up. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Give it over to Jennifer Lee. One clap for the base shot. All right, let's get started. All right. So, I had I was telling Ricky, I had a surgery done 2 weeks ago now. And I can't breathe out of the left side of my nose, right? So, because of my health insurance and stuff like that, I was able to finally do this surgery where they cut in and they let me breathe and things like that. So the first 2 days, they put these straws up my face, and I mean, it was like, yeah, they're splints. This pressure, Reagan had it done in wrestling, like he got hurt, right, injury. And this pressure, I mean, it was insane. My teeth hurt. You can't smell, so you can't even eat anything. When you're eating stuff, it tastes like cardboard. It's like you have a nice food, and you can't smell it. And so I'm reading all the reviews online, like how long it took and things like that to recover. And then I go see my doctor finally one day. He takes the stuff out, and I had a little bit better breathing, just a little bit. Finally, thanks, the pressure's gone at least, because these 2 things are gone from my face. And he looks at me, he says, you are going to breathe right now, but you're still very swollen. And you're going to be very congested. And I was like, really? I feel fine right now. He's like, trust me, it's just an immediate reaction. It's going to be swollen, and then it'll get better. So before it gets better, it's going to get worse. And he prepped me. And then he says something to me as I leave. He goes, trust the process. Okay? And I'm like, all right. And like 48 hours later, I'm freaking crying. I'm like, you can't breathe. I can't, I can't do this. And, I'd send my doctor a message, and I'm like, hey, because my little daughter, she rolled over and she hit my face. And I was like, hey, he told me to call you. And he's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. As long as you're still bleeding and you're not in pain anymore, we'll try to find it. And sure enough, as the days go by, Winnie, like every day, for a period of like 5 minutes, sometimes 10, maybe 15, nothing more than that, my nose would clear up, and I was like, yo, I was straight breathing. Yes! Like from both sides. It was amazing. And then then I get swollen again, whatever, but it give me like little glimmers of hope. And then now it's kind of like, I would say 50% of the time, and like, my wife's even like, hey, you didn't snore last night. I'm like, yes, yes, trust the process. It works. And so I try to be pretty active and run around and do stuff. And so I can't wait till, 6 weeks I can start working out, like contact sports, stuff like that. Who knows? Some people know. Jay, I balled him up there. Dante. Now Dante, we're on the same team. Well, football, all you guys know. Destroy all of you guys. So, anyways, but it's the same thing here, right? You know, I never had that surgery done before, right? And even though only 2 weeks, that's not a long time to breathe, okay? But when you haven't been able to, you can't, the first 3 days, 72 hours, you have nothing can go in through your nose. Your ears are hurting. If you swallow, just to swallow, it puts so much pressure on your ear because no air goes into, you know, some of you guys have been congested before, you have sinus pressure, and it's terrible, right? And if you 72 hours, you're like, oh my God, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? And then the doctor says, trust the process. You call in, you trust the process. 2 weeks is nothing. It's nothing. 5 days is nothing. But when you go 72 hours straight and you're just under whatever it is, you start getting funny, right? You try to set a few appointments. You try to recruit hey, you make a decision. You know, Neil Griffin always says this, is that you make a decision. I'm going to freaking do this business. I'm going to make $100 grand a year. You tell everybody. Then you go out to your car and the steering wheel falls off. And all 4 cars, tires have been stolen. And you're on cinder blocks. He goes, that's when we're going to find out. Right? This is a process, man. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. This is a whole different locker room. Right? You know, some people, they have success in other things. It doesn't mean a thing. And that, now, hopefully it does, but probably not. That's why I love Primerica. Everybody starts as a rep. Just like, Daddy didn't give me this business. I didn't just become an RVP. No one put 400 licensed people under me. Right? I had to hire them. I had to train them. I had to make a lot of mistakes, a lot of trial and error, a lot of showing up, a lot of, am I working in vain? Hey, is this freaking surgery going to even work? Because it doesn't feel like it now. Why did I pay? Did the doctor just get me for my money? I'm serious. I started thinking like that. Like, man, damn. Right? Because, you know, I mean, there was a 3 or 4 year period that I did everything in my power to save my hair. Nothing will work. All that money. And you know who freaking put me up to it? Samir. He said, hey, you should do this. I was like, man, you just set me up, man. You should, I think you would be a great candidate for follicle transplant surgery. I'm like, I think you're right. I read about it and everything. You at your age. Because he wanted to know. He's like, so I tell him, like, man, it didn't work. Anyways, all right. New presentation. Bring out, if you have your iPads and stuff, bring the presentation out. Ricky's going to come up and go over the technology of the presentation. Okay, this is a presentation. It's not just slides. Okay? Obviously there's words, but the presentation actually works, meaning it does work. Like, not it does work like it's effective, meaning there are things you have to do within the presentation. Times where you click, times where there's a video, times where you move forward, times where you move backward. Okay? There is an element of that. You got to learn it. You got to master it. You're not going to be good right away. I don't care even if you think you're going to be good. You're going to be bad. Right? In order for you to be great, first you got to be good. In order for you to be good, first you got to be bad. And before you're bad, you got to try. I used to practice my presentation with my daddy all the time. A lot of you guys know that story, right? And my dad is an old school tough guy, jerk, real mean, real nasty. Right? Some of you guys have gone on appointments with people like that, right? Like, you know, just always giving you a hard time, right? Like, you know, how often do you renegotiate the contract? Or how do you know you have the best products? We're number one. We have 120,000 representatives. 40 years, right? But you can't say that, right? You got to answer it professionally. You got to answer it pleasantly. My dad is like that. He's like that. So and this is a true story. I would practice with my dad, and my dad, you know, he's a dad. He could just get under my skin, right? So I'm literally freaking crying every time I'm doing the presentation with my dad, trying to do it. I tell people all the time, my dad was so tough on me. Just abrasive, antagonistic, and just, you know, low blows all the time. Right? Well, if you have all this money, why are you borrowing money from me? You know? I know you asked your mom for money, and she told me. You know? Dad, shut up. You know? So I do the appointment, I decline, and I tell people all the time, when I go with the clients are easier than my dad, so it didn't matter. Nothing was harder than that. And I got really good. That's why like a lot of people are like, hey, you don't know. Jack, I don't know if you can handle this. No, I'm never intimidated. It doesn't mean that I'll make them a client, but don't worry about it. I'm fine. I've been doing this for 13 years. I've been on thousands of appointments. There's nothing I haven't seen. Okay? Nothing. So, anyways. But you got to master this presentation. All right? So Ricky is, for the most part, the architect. Okay? Of whatever I tell him in my head, he kind of builds it. And but he knows the technology better than anybody. All right? So I wanted him to come up and share some of this stuff because look at this room, right? We got a lot of licensed people. They're going to start going out on their own. And Marilyn, Lola, you're not going to be ready, right? You get called in, you get called in. Hey, somebody went down. You got to come in, right? You're the backup person, right? You're going to go out, and you know what? You're going to do a lot better than you think as long as you're prepared, right? Tom Brady said, if you're prepared, there's no need to be nervous, right? If you're prepared, there's no need to be nervous. So, excited for what Ricky's going to share. Let's give it up for RVP Ricardo
So I'm going to go over just because some people have been coming up to me about presentations, stuff like that, and there are some issues that they were having with the presentation as far as being lost in some areas. Does anybody have that happen to them? It sucks, right? It's embarrassing. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. So I'm just going to kind of go through the presentation so you guys can see where certain things are, how to move through the presentation. Because like Shaq said, you shouldn't be nervous if you're prepared. In this business, there's different places you go in this business, right? First, we come in, we're trying to build a team, trying to get licensed. But after you do that, then what? See, there's 3 stages. You're the rookie, you're a soloist, and then you're a field trainer. The field trainer is a builder of people, right? But before you can go there, you got to build who? Yourself, right? You got to build yourself. And that's where the soloist part of this business comes in. That's where really I learned a lot about myself. Because I go out, try to close people, try to help people, and I was really bad at this business for a period of probably 24 to 36 months, right? Terrible. But if you want it bad enough, you'll focus on changing and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about some stuff in a second. But really quickly, I'm just going to dive into this presentation. There's some stuff here that maybe you guys haven't had a chance to go through with your trainer yet. So really, on the first few slides, there's not much as far as, you're just, anybody that uses PowerPoint, you're just swiping through it. Where there's information you guys want to be aware of is coming up right here in a second. So after this slide, we start talking about client benefits. And when you get to the client benefits page, there are some things that I've seen some trainers are using to try to start to show clients, hey, why would it be a good opportunity for you to take an FA from us? Because we're going to offer so much value to you in return, right? So we talked about how Primerica works with big distribution companies and partnered up with all these other companies. And then these icons will come up, okay? Now, a few weeks ago, Shay was talking about she likes to jump right into talking about the benefits of beneficiary referrals, of emergency contact, because insurance industries, for a lot of you new people who don't know this, a lot of other insurance companies, when a person dies, all insurance companies have access to a Social Security database. So they know when a person has passed away. Most other insurance companies, although they identify that someone's passed away, they don't try to contact anybody. Because as long as that money's in-house, like the cash value, who's making a return on that? The insurance company, right? Our company, when we see that, they contact the RVP's offices. You know, Shaq last month had 2 or 3 emails from our company about, hey, we came across this in our database. It looks like one of your clients may have passed away, right? So that's a huge advantage that our company has over the competition. So if you actually click on this telephone, I don't know who's driving. Okay. So can you make sure that people can see the mouse so they can see certain things? Like if it's on presentation, there's a little icon that looks like a pen. If you click on that, it says show mouse. Are you extending this or is this duplicated?
Extend.
Okay, so you probably got to make sure that the mouse is here. Right, yeah. So once you click on that red telephone, it'll take you right here to the video. If you want it to, you just press play on it, and the video will come up. This is a 60-minute video. It's about maybe a minute and a half that talks about the importance of having beneficiaries listed. Did you just click forward? What does that mean? Then it'll talk about why a lot of insurance companies are ripping people off, okay, as far as the person passing away. Okay, so I changed it now because this button, so I don't know if you guys see this arrow down here. Can you guys see this arrow? Yeah. These arrows are on a lot of your slides. That means go back to the previous slide. Okay? So I changed it so now this will take you back. If you click on it, it'll take you back to this slide. Okay? Before the presentation, it was actually taking you to the back side of the presentation, and a lot of people are getting lost. So you don't have to worry about that anymore, so you can continue on the front end, right? To show you see the difference here. That question will still come up? Yes. Okay. Then, if you're using the presentation also as a recruiting tool, and maybe you're doing a one-on-one recruiting interview, down here there's an icon that looks like people around the table. If you click on that, don't click on it. Okay. If you were to click on that, it'll jump you right to the compensation part of our presentation. Okay?
Ricky?
Yes.
I think when you press the arrow, I've been doing it on mine right now. Unless Weldon knows.
I just made a change.
Okay.
Yeah. If your presentation is about making changes, it's because I just made this. I just uploaded it. See where we were? Okay. All right. So then afterwards, after you do the client presentation benefits page, it'll take you to the financial house, where you want to ask the client, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me nice, how motivated are you? You'll generally get a positive response, 8, 9, 10. And then that starts leading into the conversation of building a financial house. Okay? Now, on the financial house, both of these are buttons that you can press. Okay? So if you wanted to jump to retirement right away, you can click on that. Eventually, we'll build out these other 2. But right now, these are the only 2 that are buttons that you can actually click into and take you. Okay? But generally speaking, the next conversation after this will be life insurance. So you can either get to life insurance one of 2 ways. You can either click on income protection, or you can just move forward in the presentation. I moved it up so it's right after this. Okay? This right here is probably not the hardest, but the most technical slide that there is. There's a lot of different slides that are linked up to this page, so I want to help you guys get through this real quick. Right? So when you do the first click on it, the first question is going to come up, hey, this is fine. How much coverage do you currently have? Depending on what they say, that's going to guide our presentation. Okay? So for you guys, especially you guys, you have to understand that when you go down to the kitchen table, there's only really 4 obstacles you're going to face. Okay? One obstacle is a family has no coverage at all. The other obstacle is they may have some group insurance or insurance works in their job. The other obstacle is that they have private coverage. And private coverage means stuff that they pay for on their own, and it really only falls into 2 categories: cash value or term insurance. Okay? So, assuming someone says, yeah, I have coverage for my job, if you click one more time on the presentation, this question will come up on the left-hand side. And now you're kind of asking, okay, great, so you have some coverage. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel overinsured, underinsured, not sure? Right? Because you're trying to, all this is about collecting data, trying to see where they are emotionally. Okay, are they on the same page with you? How can you get them on the same page, right? So, depending on what they say there, it's fine. But assuming they have no coverage at all, like only through their job, then these pictures are icons. Buttons. Okay, so you can actually click on them. So if you wanted to get into a conversation with someone about what they have through their job, you can click on employer coverage. And once you go through the group certificate and point out that they are not the owners of it, that their job is, so they have limited control, after that, these two icons will come up. Again, this back arrow will take you back to the previous slide. This video or TV monitor will take you to a video that's specific about group insurance. You can click on it. Again, if you want to, you click play on that, and then again, this back arrow will take you back to the certificate. And then you, again, once you're back in the certificate, you click back here to take you to where you were as far as talking to people about insurance. And you guys have any questions about that? Does that make sense? Okay. Does that help you out?
Yes.
Okay, great. Same thing would happen if you click on no coverage. We have commitment questions in there, and again, you'll see if you can click on it. It might be hard to see because of the picture in the background. But once you're done with all these questions, again, a back arrow will show up, which will take you back to the main screen. Okay? Now, what if they have a private policy already, right? So, if they have a private policy, before you go into these buttons, we have some questions that are built in here. You just click through the presentation, so if you're using your tablet, you swipe. I'm pretty sure most of the time, you're swiping to your left, right? Okay, to move forward. So these questions are right there. They're built in there. Okay, we'll hide the photos. Hey, excuse me, Mr. Klein, do you know how your policy works? Most clients will tell you yes, no, my agent didn't really explain it to me, that's fine. Why did you buy your existing coverage? Did you get it for protection? The investment aspect of it, especially if they know what type they have, or both. If you were to change benefits, what would interest you? Right? We find that most people really benefit from allowing us to evaluate their existing insurance. Our promise will never ask you to make a change to any financial program if there's not a significant advantage and it's obvious to you. Right? If it was possible that we could, so all these commitment questions are built in there, so you can get the policy, and then if you get the policy and review it, you click one more time, and it'll take you back to the icon so you can click into it. So let's go into cash value. So in cash value, just so you guys understand, I was talking to Ingrid on my team the other day. The reason cash value, as far as cash value, money banking shows up first because what we're attacking here is the cash value part of the policy, right? Because most people are willing to overpay for something that they feel they're going to get their money back, right? Anybody ever had clients say, well, with term, do I get my money back? Anybody have that? Yeah. Right? So we want to attack first, well, why would that be a good, why would you want to have a cash value when this is what happens to your money, okay? That's why we're attacking first, okay? On this page, if you needed to, this icon that looks like a document, that's actually a sample policy. If you were to click on that, it'll take you to a sample, yeah, if you want to take it, to a sample, this is a Mass Mutual whole life policy. And at the very end, this is a buy term investment difference comparison. Okay? And again, the back button will take you back to the Funny Banking page. This is a video that we added, I think, maybe a week or two ago. Dave Ramsey, and he highlights literally every point that you just went over. He will highlight it in the video using that southern accent that's magical. Okay, if you need to, you click back on I got it here. So you go back. Go back up, right? Now, if you need to go forward and talk about the other aspect of whole life, because one aspect is, hey, your money's going to get tied up, low rate of return. You lose your deposit for 3 years. You need access to your money, you have to borrow it. And if you die, the insurance company keeps it. what's the other thing we have to potentially sometimes talk to people about? It's the cost, right? So this, if you click forward, it'll take you to refrigerator A or B. You can now talk about the cost difference between whole life and term. And on this page, I'm not going to animate on this page, but if you need to talk about universal, that's where this button is. If you were to click on here, it takes you to an example of a visual of what universal life policy works, looks like and how it works, right? Again, so now if you click on this back button, it'll take you back here. Click on this button, it'll take you back here, and then you click one more time back to get you back to where you need to be, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Because I noticed a lot of these buttons were taking people in different areas, so we just try to clean it up more. Term insurance is really nothing there. We just look to see what the slide looks like. Again, we animate through it. We'll talk about the different points. Again, the term example here. This is a button you can click on. It'll take you to the State Farm term example. Or again, the back button will come up. It'll take you back to that previous slide. This back button takes you guess where? Back to where you were. And then if you need to, you click on this forward button. Now it's pointing towards the right. It'll take you right to time. Okay. This is now where we're helping clients calculate how much coverage you need. Qualification time. That's really about it as far as your moving parts with presentation. Because this part right here, because we really try to educate people on a lot of things. Keep in mind that the reason we're over-educating is because one thing that Shaq and I were trying to put these ideas together is that sometimes you may talk to a client and then you leave and they're going to go talk to somebody else, right? And so by addressing things up front, we're going to try to hit all the bases so they remember, you know what, the guy did talk about that, or the girl did talk about that. Yes, okay. So although someone might try to influence them in a different way, you've already hit all those aspects of it, so they're better educated, they're better informed, they have more armor on themselves as far as understanding whatever decision they're going to make with. Does that make sense? Yeah. So has anybody ran into any other issues or problems since the last build of the presentation? Okay, that's a good point. So Matt was telling me also, if you have an older iPad or anything like that, the presentation is a lot of whatever. I don't even know, lights or some crap. So if you have a slow process, it's going to move slower. Okay, just be mindful of that. It should work, but it will move a lot slower the older your technology is. Right?
Go back. All the forward buttons have to be
What do you mean?
so right back. Like this
Back to where? That takes you to time.
After we read the questions, you go back.
There's one forward button. This one right here. That only takes you to time. Everything else is back. Which one?
Go back.
Right. It's the only. Yeah. So it's just not animated. So it just shows up all the time. If you need to just cut right away. So the question Ian had was, how come this button keeps showing up every single time? It's not animated, so it's not hidden. Okay? It's there for you at all times if you, for whatever reason, needed to just jump right into calculating die. Maybe you sit down with someone and say, hey, Jay, my cousin said you helped her with insurance. How much do I need? Do you need to waste all your time with this? Possibly not, right? So you can click on here. It takes you right into time. And that's what that's for. That's a good question. Yeah.
Did you skip the second client benefits?
I got rid of that. It's too redundant. It's too redundant. Yeah. If you want to get back into it, you're going to have to minimize the screen and jump back to the top. You don't put a button that just takes you back. It's going to confuse people. That's what it was doing.
Yeah.
That's what it was doing.
So it's the one cell phone thing.
Yeah, that's it. Now, if you need to just jump into the video, I may build in a page where you just click on something. For right now, everything is in a good order.
Yeah.
And some of you guys have been getting lost. You know how to find yourself, which is good.
So I do have clients that, like you said, they're on like a time limit. So what are the key points that you need to hit in order to even get you as a dime or just even get to the insurance?
Shaq, you want me to answer that?
What did he say?
So some people are in a tight time frame, so what are some key points you want to hit? If you're in a tight time frame.
What's a tight time frame?
A client that I had probably only had maybe 40 minutes, like exactly 40 minutes before we get out there.
I can do the whole thing in 40 minutes. Shay, can you do the whole thing in 40 minutes?
Yeah.
So, Franz, I guess what I would say to you, part of that is, I mean, you just passed an exam. Let's give it up for him. Part of that is kind of what Shaq was talking about. In the beginning, when you're going on your own, you're going to be slow. You're going to fumble things, right? You just haven't done it enough and you can do it in 40 minutes. That's 12 years of experience. How many years? I've been here for 9 years, so we've gone through it a lot faster. So I would say, but what I would say to you is that depending on how quick the time frame is, you got to ask them at the front, hey, what worst areas are important to you, so I can talk about those and not waste time on some other things. And so that's one thing I would say. But especially if we're talking about life insurance, I hit on the theory, and then I say, look, there's private coverage, and I hit group and term real quick, and then go for the top. Okay. I think based on some of the things, because I know Elsa talked to me a lot, Shay talked to me a lot, Tara talked to me a lot, Sophia talked to me a lot about, hey, I'm getting lost in certain areas. I think those are all the issues that I saw people having. Okay. The biggest thing I was just saying is just remember in the bottom right corner, right, if you're looking at it upside down, it'll be your bottom left corner, right? Is your tablet facing right, bottom left? There's always going to be back button to take you back to where you were. Okay, to take you back to your place. Any other questions about that? So real quick, this is kind of like, when I came back from the convention, one thing I heard from a lot of the $1 million earners was they've worked harder on themselves than they ever worked harder, right? For me, one thing I came back, I wanted to make a commitment to go back to the fundamentals. Because this business is a lot about recommitting, resetting, and reinventing yourself. I believe that. I've seen Shaquille do all of those three things multiple times. And every single time, he grew stronger. Business grew bigger. Income went through the roof. And for me, one thing that I know for me in the business had always been an area where when I focused on it, I saw improvement. And that was the lowest level of skills, which is the first, when Samir's been talking about, it's sales, right? So I made a commitment to get back to reading about sales, mastering my craft of sales. And there was a book that I came across, and I don't know if this is for everybody, to be honest with you, okay? Because this is a really high-level book. I mean, it's 90 pages of mindset, 250 pages of closing, right? Do you have the mental stamina to go through all this book? I don't know, right? But it's called The Closer Survival Guide, Grant Cardone. We've been listening to him a lot. And this is just from the back cover. It goes, learn to close and you'll never be without work. And you'll never be without money. Closing is a critical exchange that goes beyond the point of persuading, promoting, and selling, and creates a transfer from one person to another. And one thing because Ingrid on my team, she's going through the phase of you're a soloist. Is anybody there right now? Right. When I was a soloist, that was the best part of my business because you go out there and then you're calling your trainer afterwards and you're just reporting everything. And they give you the most guidance. It's not through field training they get the guidance. It's are you going on your own? Right? Did you get a license or you're trying to make money? Right? And that's when Shaq will give you all the real stuff. Right? Because when you go with a trainer, and you need to in the beginning, because some of us we gotta get our skills up. But when you go on your own, it's so much different. Because when you have a trainer, you don't take notes. You let mom and dad go on work, right? They ask you afterwards, what'd you learn? I don't know, right? But when you're out on your own and they ask you, hey, how much money did you well, that's important. Ask them how much money they make, right? And what type of insurance do they have? Oh, I didn't write that down. Well, you may want to ask that, right? All of that stuff is ingrained. And so I told Ingrid, I said, look, you got to read a book on sales. And the first book I ever read was How to Master the Art of Selling Anything. And the reason you need to read a book on sales, and this goes to everybody, is because you're thinking about sales is wrong. See, most of us, we come in thinking sales is what? Pushing people. Forcing people to do business with us. And that's not true. One thing I really like about this book, he talks about closing, which is the most important skill, is about an exchange of value. So I want to read some things that I think might benefit some of you guys. I think kind of goes in hand with the presentation. So it says, this is very early on, it goes, the goal of your presentation is to create desire and urgency for your product so the customer wants to exchange something of value with you, right? That's what the point of this presentation is. It's to create an urgency. Oh man, I only have insurance for my job. I don't own that. I don't control that. My family's at the highest risk it possibly could be. And you're going to help me calculate how much I need, right? But is the presentation enough? I don't think it is, right? This is what he said. Because take the presentation, for example. You present every feature and benefit of your product or service and do an exceptional job of doing it. But here's the question. Can the prospect take the presentation and use it in their life to benefit themselves in any way? Can they? Right? The presentation, can they take it? No. The presentation does nothing for them. See, if your prospect can't do anything with it, there has been no exchange. So he talks about creation of an economy. He goes, the close creates an exchange. And that exchange causes an economy of sorts to exist. To the degree that you can repeat this over and over, he's talking about the close, it will determine the size of your economy. What do you think he means by economy? Income, your lifestyle, your freedom, right? One thing he talks about is people have income, they have their expenses. Bottom line in our lives is freedom, right? If your expenses are too high and your income is flat, what kind of freedom do you have? None, right? So he talks about you got to focus on growing your what? Your income. Most people don't have that at their job. You can't go ask your boss for a raise, right? That's why we're here. We're all trying to grow our income, right? So he goes, everybody creates their own personal economy. They just don't know. The economy you create is only limited to how many people you can close on your ideas and get to exchange with you, support you, take action, support your ideas, service, products, or dreams. If you can confront that and are willing to take the complete responsibility for learning to close, you can create the economy you desire. You know, and I hope for some of you guys, you hear that stuff pretty much exciting. Because for me, you know, Shaq taught me a lot of stuff. One of the things he always talked to me about the pendulum. Has anybody ever heard the pendulum theory? What's the theory with the pendulum? Right? Well, so he always talked to me about there's two extremes. In my extremes, it was you're too soft or you're too aggressive. He's like, you're right now too soft. You got to get to the other extreme. The problem is you can never go to the other extreme. You can never go from being too soft to too aggressive. But if you move your pendulum a little bit to the other extreme, that'll change your life. And that was one of the things he always used to talk about going out and closing. And I was the type of guy I couldn't close anything. Even like one time someone said, hey, we want insurance, I packed up and said, I'll call your mom. I swear to God. I swear to God. Right? And so when I started going on the field and started seeing, hey, I got to learn how to close, I got to learn how to provide value, that's what really got me excited about the business, right? Because, you know, a lot of us, and this is the last time in the series, Shaq talked about I went down to Florida with him. I I wasn't expecting that. You know, like Wednesday or Thursday last week, he calls me. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys don't have a relationship with Shaq the way some of us do, but sometimes he whispers to you. You're like, what's up? I'm married. I mean, what's up with Miami? You want to go see Willie? And I was like, I didn't qualify. You know, but I'm asking anyway. So okay, I'll think about it. And I remembered when we went to Howard last year, I won an incentive, right? For a lot of you guys, we have incentive all the time. Winning an incentive, big or small, can really change the direction of your business. And one incentive we won, I was honored to win, was to go up to Pennsylvania to see Howard last year. Huge securities guy, really helped me with my securities business. And part of it was to have lunch with him. And I know Sophia was there, right? And who else? I think Dante was there, right? And one thing I heard Howard last year said, and after Shaq called me, I was like, man, I gotta go. Howard last year said when he was building his business, he'd go find the #1 person in any area and go pay money to go see him. So when Shaq said, hey, you want to go see the #1 guy in the business, the #1 base shop, the #1 cash flow, all this was like 6 years ago. And what I saw down in Florida was inspiring. Yeah, I know we were talking about it the other day, but the reason I'm talking about this is because one thing I saw down there, and I don't know the ratios, because their licensing is so high it masks whatever ratios they have. What I mean by that is how many people stay, how many people quit. We don't know that, right? But they literally in the month of July had 100 people pass the exam. 100 people pass the exam. And what it made me realize was that those people came into the business to get licensed. To do what with that license? Make what? Money, right? And a lot of the top base shops at Time to Go, they talk about that, make money. And that's one thing, at least for me, I want to make an adjustment on is, look, when I'm talking to people, man, it's like, look, you're going to come on board, you're going to get licensed, you're going to make money. I don't recruit losers. Our organization, we don't take hurt people, right? Now, I maybe was hurt mentally when I came in here, right? Shaq talks about it all the time. Most people come in here, they've been beat up by corporate America, you know, they've given up on their dreams, and that was me at 23, right? But I inside had a drive. Most of you guys have that drive. And that's why I saw that we got to make sure we play up in a conversation with people, man. This is a license that can change your life. And the only thing we saw down there, they talk about it. An insurance agent, your hourly wage is like $40 to $50 per hour. Most people don't make that. You get your securities license, you basically go to $88 per hour. That's a huge deal, right? The other thing I saw down there was just tons of examples of success and lots of activity. You know, and I think that's an area that some people in our organization, like top notch, and have really led from the front in that. And I know that that's an area that our team we want to focus on getting there. But the biggest thing, I'm just excited that I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Shaq on the beach. That's one thing really proud. Yeah. But just talking to Shaq and just, you know, the thing about it is you know, I've been with him when he wanted to make changes, and I know right now he's really thinking about where we got to go. Because one of the plays that our head coach Bruce talks about is where are you going to be in 2019. Right? I already know he's going to be $1 million a week. I already know Spirit has this plan for $500,000. The question is, where could I be? Where could Shane Felton be? And T. Felton? Where could Sophia Taibbi? Where could Dante Burley? Where could be the next regional leaders be in 2 years, right? $100,000 earners. You know, I saw their office, and they're not better than us. You know, we have the potential to play up. So, you know, I'm just really, really excited about where we're going. And it all starts with just setting a bunch of appointments, giving KT, going out there, be willing to be bad before you're good. You know, this presentation is designed to help you, but you got to go out there and make a lot of mistakes so you can get course correction. Without course correction, that's the big thing. Most people don't want to make mistakes. You gotta make mistakes, which is weird, but that's what you gotta do. So I appreciate. I hope this helps, guys. All right.
job, Ricky. Thomas, you can pull that up for me. Always about making adjustments. Always making adjustments. Always doing things differently, right? If you keep doing the same thing you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same thing you got, right? Now, for some people, you might be happy with that. For me, I was not. Even now, I'm not satisfied. Okay, I have zero satisfaction. I want to grow. I want to change. I want to grow my business. That's why we're here. Always remember that. That's when you feel any sort of intensity from anybody, is because we're uncomfortable. Okay. One thing that we have been talking about even before we went to Florida, which reaffirmed, right? And you know, it's funny because, you know, the training, 100% of the training was in Spanish. Okay? So like I texted Willie, because I originally had not planned on going. Because my surgery, the doctor said I can't fly, this and that. So I texted him, I just said, hey, I wanted to confirm, I'm going to send some of the guys down there on Tuesday. And he called me. And he was like, hey, look, I'd like you to do some training. And he goes, we do 2 trainings and this and that. And one, you know, it's going to be in Spanish. I want you to train and afterwards. And, you know, but I'll spend a little bit of time with you. He said that, right? So I said, all right. Then I called Ricky. I said, look, you know, I want Ricky to come with me, speak Spanish, come with me. And then also we get to spend some time together. Ricky's a great friend of mine. And I didn't understand one thing that they said. You know, Ricky was translating here and there, but it's a little rude to translate in the middle of training, so he's kind of telling me if I ask him what he said, but you could just feel it. And I got to spend, what, 10 minutes with Willie? That's it. So I spent a lot of money, okay, for a trip. I left, you know, my family, and my wife, some of you guys know, she's just, I don't know if she got the flu, she's very sick. And so, you know, that's not an easy conversation. Hey, I'm going to Miami, stay ill, and watch the 3 kids. Right? Which is just, you know, anybody knows you're married. It's not like, you know, Sophia's like, what's the key to your marriage? She asked me that yesterday. I go, I'm scared of my wife. I said, wait, did I say that out loud? I mean, you know, I'm terrified. As I get out the movie. No, but when you have a family, you're always in it together. That's why, you know, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything. Like my wife and I mean, we just, like, when you're married, you just know. You got kids, like, yo, we're just freaking in it. Like, I don't leave my wife like that. It's just not, that's not okay, you know. I got 3 kids, and they're freaking a handful, and she's sick. I can't do that healthy. I can't do that, like, with super rested. You know, so I'm like, look, I just got to go. She's like, look, I know you've been wanting to go, and this is going to be really great. You know, she knows, because, you know, I'm trying to go to the next level. She knows, and obviously, yes, did I enjoy it? Yeah, but, you know, I was uncomfortable the whole time. Ask Ricky, I was freaking tossing and turning. When we get back, I'm freaking on the computer looking up. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, man, I don't know what I saw. How can I take this? How can I grow? It's just, it's in my blood. It's in my blood to freaking grow things. It's just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know why I am the way I am, but my butt's always burning, right? R. Williams said that. That's me too. But one play that we have to run, that even before we went, but it affirmed, they do a lot of recognition down there, Robert. They do. They recognize people for their sprint district. They recognize people for you know, competition and production and obviously getting their license. But you know, their #1 award was. You remember? You remember? 3x10 personal iPad Pro. Okay. 3x10,000 personal iPad Pro. Okay. Some of you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I say 3x10,000 personal. Okay. If you're new or old, or you've been here as long as me, right? Which in Primerica I'm ancient here, right? Your job is to develop 10 clients a month. Okay? Now, that is not easy to do. Number one, most of your work ethic is suspect. You don't work hard, right? If you're like me, I wasn't a hard worker. I was, yes, when I was younger, yes, when sports, but when it got to older, I was mediocre at best. I'm being honest. There's some things I would work hard a little bit, but I didn't have a great work ethic. I wasn't the guy living in the gym. You know, and even in practice, when I got to the next levels, high school, people work harder than me. I can say whatever I want. The coach didn't like me. I was undersized. No, they worked harder than me. They did. And that's how some people that were way worse than me freshman year got really good senior year. They worked their butts off. And then later on, you're like, wow, they're just talented. No, that was not true. They worked their butts off. You want to make money, you know, and I'm not trying, you guys know this, I don't throw my weight around, right? But, you know, at $500,000 a year, I make a lot of money. Okay? And that'd be if I was 57, 67, I'm 37. I don't throw my weight around. I work hard. Now, I don't work as hard as I used to. But I work hard. If you want to be lazy, you're not going to win here. You can make a little bit of part-time money. Okay? But if you're trying to get free, if you're trying to make $100 grand a year, if you're trying to make $200 grand a year, you're trying to make $25,000 a month, you're trying to save $100 grand a year, whatever your goal is, you want to pay off your mortgage in 10 years. You got to like work hard. I'm talking really hard. Most of us don't have this, and so that's one. And two, you have to go on a lot of appointments. Right? You have to actually see people. This is a face-to-face business. Belly to belly. Knees to knees. Toes to toes. Nose to nose. You got to sit down with people and do a presentation. And even if you're good, 60 to 70%, that's what you're going to close. You're still going to go through 40%. Not going to be good appointments. And you got to be prepared for that. And that's what the training that I'm going to talk about today is the most fundamental training. And it's so appropriate for our team, okay? And I'm doing it because some of the new people I'm working with, I want them to understand the psychology so they can have results right away. Because if you can get some good results right away, you're going to start your track record off on a good, you know, on the right foot, and you're going to do the right things and continue to do those things and get more results, right? But if you start out wrong, right, what's today's setting appointments? Setting appointments. You got to make sure nobody's better than you at setting appointments. Nobody's better at handling the objections. No one's better at qualifying the appointments. No one's better than you at understanding what's the best probability to get results, right? Like, I'll give you an example. Some of our new people, we set appointments with people. They're not employed. Like, they're on disability. Are people who are not employed a good candidate to do a financial plan? Now, you don't need to, we're not Merrill Lynch. You don't have to have $250,000. What are you going to do with a financial plan with someone that doesn't work? Or they're on disability. It doesn't work. Sometimes we set appointments with people. You know what the big thing we do? We meet them at a third party. I don't like meeting people in Panera. Panera's a nice place. Starbucks is a nice place. It's really, you know, they're bougie and Wi-Fi, and, you know, but can you do an appointment there? You know, I sat down with somebody, they didn't feel, and I did it with the trainee. Because sometimes I do it, right? I'll bend for the trainee. I said, John, right? John says, oh, you know what? I got my first appointment. And I'm, all right, good. He's like, yeah, they don't feel comfortable meeting at their house, so we're going to meet them there. And I'm like, I didn't want to let John down, right? Because John worked really hard. He got his first appointment, you know. All right, I'll take it. I go on the appointment. We start going into the presentation. The presentation is going great, Nante. Just a little bit of personal information. How much coverage you have? We don't feel comfortable. And then he's like, man, I don't understand. You know, John's like, I don't understand. The appointment was going great. And I'm thinking like, no, it wasn't. If they don't want to meet in their house, why would I be shocked that they don't want to give me personal information? And I didn't even ask for personal information. I didn't say, hey, can I have your social security number and your PIN and your last tax returns? I mean, I didn't ask for that. I said, how much coverage do you have? We're talking about insurance. We're talking about the foundation. They said, I went through the theory. I got all the commitments. They said if they died right now, their family wouldn't be in better shape. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault. I went on that appointment. I should have gone on that appointment. You know, I understand if, hey, I'm moving. I'm getting my kitchen redone. Okay, that's one thing. I don't feel comfortable you bringing somebody over into the house. Like, I'm going with you. We're going to go. We're going to sit at the table. There's nothing funny about that. My parents did an appointment. My parents are the most backwards people in the world. I love my parents, but they're not, you know, right? I brought this, excuse me, you know, but, you know, I bring this old white guy in. My dad thought we didn't audit it. He's like, why'd you bring the tax man here? I told you. I didn't know I paid it, you know? I'm like, Dad, this is my trainer. You know? Like, he didn't know. Shred the document, you know? Dad, come on. My dad did the appointment. My mom cooked us dinner. Yeah. What are you asking to do? When you set an appointment, what are you, can I bring a friend over for 30, 45 minutes? That's what you're asking. Right? Forget why we're going over there. Can I bring a friend over? That's it. Can I bring a friend over for 30 to 45 minutes? And then if you have questions, I'll stay longer. Not 10, not 20, right? Can't do that. 30 to 45, 45. You feel like, you know, some trainers, they may go a little longer. That's cool. I get it. I don't like to waste any time. But sometimes if you want to, you know, an hour, fine, an hour. Say an hour. If you have more questions, we'll stay longer. That's what we're asking. We need to be the best at setting appointments in the company. Because if you can write 10 sales on your own, you can quit your job. Right? Some people, they don't care. They like their job. Me, right? I hated my job with them. I mean, nothing, needles in my eyes going to work every Monday. Needles in my eyes. Being there, the smell, the badge, going there, talking to my coworkers about the same dumb stuff. 10K personal got me free from my job. Forget all the good things. I wasn't thinking about retiring my wife, putting money, funding all my kids' college, paying off all our debt, being able to help my parents. That was a bump. Me, quit my job. I couldn't stand it. The job was beating me down. Like just stripping all my enthusiasm and energy as a human being. That's not going to happen if you don't do appointments. It doesn't happen you're not busy at night. Doesn't happen you're not a weekend warrior. That doesn't happen on Saturday you're not a freaking pro at getting people to sit down with you, not chasing them around. You do that, you're going to kill what I've done. We have people in our office that are doing way better than me at a way earlier age. You're going to, I mean, it's silly how much money you'll make. You get obsessed about setting appointments and you get good and skilled at it. You'll say, man, I go out, I'm going to make $1,000. You won't even want to watch television. The game. I'm going to make $1,000 tonight. You think I want to go to the game? And I mean that. I love sports. You guys know I love sports. But now with DVR, you don't even have to miss it. You say, I'm going to turn my phone off. Don't call me. Don't call me. Right? Don't tell me about the game because I'm making money tonight. I'm making $1,000. I'm making fun. You know how much confidence you get when you can make $700 in an hour? And you do, you know, I was telling Kelvin the other day, the Tuesday, or whatever day it was, the bonus paid. Okay, so the bonus paid. And I made $17,000. That was my bonus, the first day of the month. Okay? And that was the day we had 3 people pass the test, $100,000 rollover, and 9 sales. And I was telling Kelvin, I go, you know, and I was like a little nervous about telling him. I said, look, you know, I'm calculating it. And then obviously the bonus, so it's a different day. You know, they only have once a month to get the bonus. I said, but I think I made $23,000 today. One day. I think I made 9 sales, $100,000 rollover, and right now you were telling me, right, you got another 400 and it's going to probably go VA, right? Yeah. So that'll be another 3,000 that I'll make. You know, now that we didn't get that business, but the 100,000 rollover, 9 sales, and the bonus. It's like, damn, 23,000, pretty good day. Nice Tuesday. Good day, sir. You know, I mean, from what? From what? You know, you guys were with me when I had 3, 4 people in a meeting. From what? Growing a meeting and freaking getting
unbelievable at setting appointments. That's how. Not great at watching television, YouTube, Facebook, all the other stupid distractions, at actually mastering something that could help me get in front of people and believe that I could do this business. Because, you know, Ricky talked about it. You know, the thing is, we all have goals. What knocks us all down is the adversity, and that's why you have to read. Because if you don't read, you don't understand that you can overcome these things. Because in the real world, adversity breaks us down and it beats us down and it defeats us. You know that book, Ratna has that book back there, The Traveler's Gift. You know, Andy Andrews, people don't know his story, right? I don't know if you have the book still. But, you know, he tried to get his book published 51 times. The 52nd time he got it published. 51 times. 51 getting rejected. You're like, yo, give it up. Right? Give it up. Don't, this ain't for you, but get a job. 51 times, different publishers? No. Finally, 52nd time. And now we read his book. Right? Always, that's why. So, anyways, let me go through this really quickly. A lot of these are fundamentals and we're missing it. We're not doing it. And you know why I'm saying that, Ricky? Because I'm not doing it. I'm not teaching my recruits how to do it. I'm not doing it. And I'm getting run around and I'm chasing people for it. And do we like to chase people in our business? Why? It makes us feel like crap. Right? See, look, there's a huge difference between actually setting the appointment and then doing the appointment where the wife or the spouse, husband, they're both there and you don't have to chase them. Because we understand appointments reschedule. That is going to happen. But if too many reschedule, we start getting fatigued. Mentally, emotionally, physically fatigued, and we can't do this. But if you can learn how to limit some of the stupid stuff that people say or do, or that we do, you can do more appointments. And when you're doing appointments and you're on a roll, appointments are fun. They're fun. They're great. Okay. So the mentality, new people must be appointment focused. It's the only way we make money. We do not make money in meetings. Okay. Always remember that. You have to come to meetings. You have to come to training, but we don't make money here. Right? You get better recruits from the kitchen table, and you get referrals, right? And the number one thing, Ricky talked about this, is you can become a great field trainer, right? All the goodies go to those who field train. You want to be independent, you want to become a trainer. So, new people, who do we set appointments with? Mateo. Okay, what are those? Hold on, what'd you say? Dependent children. That's right. Income. Healthy or on their own. I like that. Or they live on their own, right? And they have an income. Okay? What I look for, young kids. Okay? I want people to have young kids. Now look, we live, it's 2017. You know, a lot of people are blended families. They may live together, but they're not married. I don't care about that. All right? But if they have a significant other, they need to both be there. I look for young kids. If they have young kids, my presentation can work. If they have young kids, you know, oh, yeah, they have kids. They're 29, 28. Those aren't kids. They're adults. Okay? Right? Now look, there are some times we can do appointments like that. I'm not saying, look, you got to be obsessed about doing a lot of appointments, but you know, if I'm training a new recruit, right, that's like, if I want to do 2 or 3 appointments in a night, that's one of the 3. That's not one. I'm going to do one appointment with someone that, you know, has 2 30-year-olds. And I'm not saying that you can't, some of my best clients are people that are a little bit older, they're in retirement, they have money, so I'm not saying that. I'm talking for the purpose of a new recruit setting appointments and field training, that's going to be one of 3 appointments that we go on in the evening. Okay, priorities of field training. When we go out, John, right? Yeah. Right? You're going to get trained. That's why we go out. We're going to go out on 6 to 10 appointments. 10 to 20 would be even better. You're going to get trained. You're going to learn what to do. Referrals. We're going to get potential agents, and we're also going to acquire clients, right? Yes, we're going to make sales. That's part of what we do. I got to teach you the whole process, right? If the client is ready, they're ready. goal is 10 qualified referrals from every client, right? Setting appointments is the most important skill you learn in the business. The most important. This is the most important. It is the part of the business that gets recruits the most nervous about. Right? Let's just be honest for a minute. We don't want to set appointments. Right? Why not? Mike, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why don't we go to that appointment?
Yeah. Why would people be nervous about setting appointments?
Straight failure.
Okay. Hey, it might not go well. What else?
Rejection.
Rejection. What else? Huh?
No credibility.
No credibility, okay.
Then you are.
What are they going to say about me? That's what it is. They're going to laugh. I'm going to leave and they're going to laugh. They're going to laugh about me. Right?
There's another one that I think might be for women, I don't know, but it's also relationship testing. It sort of tests the relationship. You think it's a friend, and then they're like, oh, I don't really, and it's hard not to take it personally. I think some guys are much better. At least my husband could make him set him, doesn't matter, but I'm always like, I thought they would, so I don't know, that might be it.
Right, okay. You know, if I ask, they might say no. That's a form of rejection, right? If you know, for me, it was like, man, you know, and I tell the story all the time, right? When I set my first appointment, I was so freaking petrified. I wasn't scared. Scared is like a few butterflies. I was like petrified, nervous beyond belief. Okay? I didn't come from a sales background. I didn't come from a business background. I didn't come from, you know, I came from that sit down, shut up, be quiet, don't speak unless you're spoken to, don't ask for anything, you know, be a fly on the wall, inconspicuous person. For me to ask, and then on top of that, I wasn't even doing well financially. So to bring up in any capacity of financial business, I was so freaking terrified. I called my friend. He picked up. He says hello. I say hello. He's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, hello. Hello. And my trainer's right there. I'm like, you can't hear me. And I hung up. And he calls me back. I'm like, red button. I didn't want to send him. I was terrified. That's how scared I was. So I understand. I get it. I wish it wasn't like that. Right? That's why you do it in a group. That's why you do it with your trainer there. I know we're going to push you to set an appointment. And I know you don't want to do it. Even if you've been around for a long time, we don't want to set appointments. But if you don't designate some time every week or every day to set appointments, you're not going to get free. That's just the reality of it. Break the ice sounds simple, but people will help. As much as people want to help you, though, they are busy. So we got to make sure we get the appointment times, we firm them up, and we go see them. So how to set appointments. Follow this and you'll get great results. Be in the right frame of mind, right? For me, I stand up. If I'm going to get on the call, it's like, all right, man, I want to move. You sound different when you're up, okay? Right? You know, my dad would always do that. He would call me right there in the middle of the day, and I'd pick up from college. Are you taking a nap? I'm like, no. I mean, literally, I'm asleep. I'm like, no. Like, I can tell. It's true, you can. Right? You got to be a little excited. There's got to be something in your voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And always remember, why are you calling them? Right? It's not about what other people think. It's asking people to help you and training if you just want to get your name out there, right? And think in your mind, I'd be willing to help them, and the only way you're going to learn this business is by doing it. People need this information. If I don't contact them, who will? Moral obligation. And you know, just to let you know, that person I set that first appointment with, he's an RVP right now. He's an RVP. Not only is he an RVP, he's an RVP. He has 3 RVPs. Think about that. The people need this information. If I don't contact them, who will? Moral obligation. You have the scripts in front of you. Schedule something with them before they get off the phone. Okay? Do know your scripts. Knowing them reflexively allows you to focus on listening and being yourself. Overbook. 50% of appointments reschedule or cancel. In the rare case they all keep, great, send someone on your team. Do give the prospect alternate choices when deciding on a time to get together. What's better? Evenings or weekdays or weekends, evening or daytime, Monday or Wednesday, 6 or 8:30. Do be assumptive about prospects wanting to meet with you. We have something they desperately need. Do have both the husband and wife there during the presentation. Don't do one-legged appointments. It sets you up for frustration. And sometimes you're right. If you're trying to take a Hail Mary, you understand what you're doing because you just don't want to be at home. I get it, but they don't. They don't. The one-legged appointments. Do utilize the power of the third party. Initially, that's all you have in common with referral. Use it to build rapport. Do know people will set an appointment for 1 of 4 reasons: need, greed, friendship, or curiosity. Do people? What kills curiosity?
Too much
information. Right? Too much talking. You're exactly right. Too much information, right? You notice it's a preview. They don't show you the whole movie. Right? You guys know that. Sometimes you go to movies, you ever notice that all the good parts are in the preview? And then you go and you're upset? Like, dude, I already saw the movie. Right? I remember that movie, Lone Survivor, right? My wife said, let's go see Lone Survivor. I said, why are we going to see it? I already know the end of the movie. One guy survives. That's it. I don't need to watch it. Right? So you know how it's going to end. I like to know. I want to have a little mystery. Right? Do schedule appointments 1.5 hours apart in the same geographical area to reduce travel time between appointments. Listen, this is for everybody. I understand. You guys are working hard, and I get it. Okay? I know where we are. We're in Virginia, we're in DC, we're in Maryland, right? I mean, you can understand where we're going, right? If you're going to Frederick, right? You can't go from Frederick to Richmond. Okay, I got 2 appointments. One's in Baltimore and one's in Chesapeake. Sorry. Okay? I need a plane. Okay? I can't drive there, right? If you're going to go far, right? Sometimes you guys, you know, people move out, right? They go to Stafford. They go to Fredericksburg. They go, you know. I've gone on appointments all those places. You can't do 1 appointment in those areas. I'm sorry. You got to find 2. And you know what I do all the time? To say T moves to Stafford. And I know T and Shay from football or something like that. Our kids know each other. I'll say, Shay, I'm going to come see you guys. You need to set me another appointment. I would say that. I'd ask, now I'd be polite, I'd be pleasant, I'd say, look, I need help with training. If you know, he knows it's far, he knows that's where he lives there. He knows where I am, he knows that I'm in Northern Virginia and he's in, you know, Stafford or Fredericksburg or Warrenton, I don't know, Haymarket, I don't know, how far is Haymarket?
30 minutes.
Hour, okay, well, how far is Stafford?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half? I don't like going to Woodbridge, okay, or Manassas, or anywhere in Maryland. I don't care. Do KTs in the right market, 4 and 5 pointers? Look. Obviously, we'll see single parents, okay? I don't want you to think for a second. There are tons of widowed, divorced, single moms. We got to see those people, okay? But also with you, I'm just telling you, for you, with your trainee, try to go on 4 or 5 pointers. Try to see people that have, you understand, I'm just speaking financially here, right? If I take a trainee out, and I take her out, and there's a husband and a wife, the check is twice the size.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like 2 acts, okay? It's twice the size. Now, that doesn't mean, do we discriminate? No, I love sitting down with single parents. But I also, when I do my quotes, right, and because I want to recruit the client, if I show them I'm here for how long and the check is $130, it's a $700 commission, that's how I recruit them, you understand? I show them, Rich, I just show them right there, I say, hey look, how long was I here? An hour. I said, look, this is our average client, they get $131. It's different when it's $40 a month, right? And we just saw a single mom, right? I'm going to do that all day long. I don't want, you know, but you try to steer people. Everybody understand what I'm saying? It's important. Do take time recruiting interviews for prospects who are out of the market. We'll meet with 1 to 3 pointers, but we're going to meet them in the office for interviews or bring them to the op meeting. Do have a goal for the number of appointments we will set every day and every week. Activity is the key, and it begins with setting appointments. Do know your ability to effectively set appointments will directly affect your success. If you cannot set an appointment, you will never have the opportunity to make a presentation, collect data, get commitments, do a carryback, make a sale, get more referrals, or hire anybody. Okay? So,
when we set an appointment in our warm market, okay, is there anybody that has not been on an appointment and not even set an appointment? Have you set an appointment? Okay, who is not? You have not? Okay, and where do you live? Leesburg. Okay, so do you know anybody that's married? Okay. Married, have kids, you know, kind of. Okay, so who do you know that's married? Okay. And say you muster up the courage to set an appointment, okay? How would you set an appointment with them? What would you say? Say I'm your neighbor, okay? Okay, great, okay. What's it about? Okay. Thank you for his Thanks. I'm going to check with my wife and I'll call you back. Okay? So she did pretty well, right? Give her a round of applause. Right? Pretty well. She said training. She said help. A few of the key words there. Okay? What did she do wrong? We didn't set the appointment, right? Because I said, well, I got off the phone. I said, hey, let me check with my wife, which is the what? Standard American response. Okay? For anybody, definitely husbands around the world, let me check with my wife, let me check with my wife. It is the greatest excuse in the world in the history of the world. It is partly a reason to get married. You never have to commit to anything. Check with my wife, I'll call you back. Oh, yeah, let me check with my wife, I'll call you back, right? All the time. You can avoid any social plans, anything that you want to do. I'll check with my wife, I'll check with my wife, check with my wife. Okay? So, that is the number one thing you're going to get, Marissa. It's the number one thing that you're going to get. Check with my wife, and then they have all the time to prepare. Well, I talk with my wife, right now is not a good time, she's this, we talk to somebody, this, that, what do you do again? And then it kind of messes up the whole flow, all your momentum, and you might have to start chasing people, right? So I can actually teach you the words to say, what to say every time so you get an appointment. Would you like to learn that? Right? And that's how we set an appointment. That's how we teach people how to set appointments. Because if we give them the script right away, they're going to look at it and say, oh, I don't like it. Right? But if we kind of stump the recruit a little bit, now you did excellent, okay, on the questions. What's it about? What's this? What's that? You did great. But most people can't ever handle the standard American response. Just let me talk to my partner. And I'll get back to you. Right? And I'm going to show you how we do that, right? Now, realize this. When we talk to our warm market, Lola, they don't want to share financial information, right? Why not?
Because it's personal. Maybe they feel like you know too much. They don't want you to know.
Okay. Why?
Embarrassed. Maybe you'll find out something that they
Embarrassed.
didn't want you
It's
to
always
know.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, are there some times where it could be co-workers, things like that? Maybe, you know, but 90% of the time,
Family.
it's debt. I have a lot of debt. I'm in collections here. I owe a lot on this car. You see, I'm check to check. I don't save any money, right? I bought this house for $300,000. Now I owe $400,000. So I've been refinancing every year. I mean, all these things. Trust me, I know. I go on appointments all the time. I'm a detective out there. I can see it. And I read people very well. That is just what we're up against. Okay? Now, it's not a good reason for them not to take care of their family, but that is a reason that we have to understand. Right? They don't want to share financial information. They don't see a value in what you do. Right? If they don't know, they think you may come over and waste their time. Right? Oh, what? If they thought you could put $100,000 in their retirement account or save them $50 a month or lower their car insurance, they'd have you over in a heartbeat. They don't want you to come over and sell them something they don't need. People love to buy stuff if they need it, but if they don't think they need it, right? And some people actually enjoy doing that stuff. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm getting a new television, or I'm getting this, or you know, my wife wants to get whatever, a new couch or new carpet, or some people, they enjoy buying things if they need it. Oh yeah, I can't wait to get this granite countertop. It's going to be great. And they research and they do their due diligence and they find a good deal and they do it. But no one wants to be sold something they think they don't need.
but they do want to help you. They will do you a favor. They will help you with training. And look, especially when I started in Primerica, I was not like a big proponent, advocate of humanity. You know, I wasn't like, oh, everybody wants to help people and this, that. But you know what? Mustering up the courage, Ingrid, to ask for appointments, people did help. You know, even my parents were pretty tough on me. When they saw I was working my butt off, they supported me. You know, my dad would buy me CDs. You know, my car I'd be driving around for appointments, and the check engine light would come on, and you know, my dad, you know, would say, oh, I like Primerica, but you better not quit your job. That's what my dad would say. I like Primerica, it's fine. I like that you're into this and the books, but don't quit your job. Boy, don't quit your job. And I quit my job. And I didn't tell my parents, right? And I used to pack my lunch every day. My mom would be like, you go to work? Like, yeah. And I go to the office, the Primerica office, every day. And my aunt got me that job. So my dumbass, right? My aunt freaking called my mom and said, he hasn't been here in months. And I was like, oh no. And my dad was just like so disappointed. He's like, what did you do? Why'd you quit your job? And he's like, I'm not, you're cut. You can stay here, but that's it. You're on your own. And you know what? There'd be times my check engine light would come on, something happened in the car, my dad would get it fixed. He wouldn't say anything. And I knew it and he knew it. He's like, all right, you know, you're working hard, I know. You're doing these appointments, you're doing everything, you're coming back late at night, you're waking up early, the TV's never on, I'm always reading books. Dad, I'm going to these conferences away. My dad supported me. Now, you know, my dad wasn't the guy like me, like with my son, I'm hugging him all the time. That's just not my dad, right? He supported me. People do help you, right? You know, not everybody's bad. There are some people, and they're glad that you called them. They're thankful that you called them. They want to introduce you to other people. You got them out of a policy, and they're your #1 freaking fan. And I don't even remember the people that didn't give me an appointment. Unless I see them, then I make them feel bad about it. Right? Yes. Look at you now. Right? Right? They don't want to see me anymore, right? I'm freaking an indictment on their everything. Right? Oh, you didn't join me. Look at you. Oh, man. How things work out, right? Right, so people will help you. They will do you a favor. They will help you with training. They will give you a referral. Not everybody, but people will. And if you're persistent, you're pleasant, you're professional, and you stick with it, people will help you. And that's me being 100% honest. So how we set an appointment, right? I need a little favor. I'm really excited about a new career I'm starting. Why do you have to say you're excited? Casper, why do you have to say you're excited?
Because people like to work with other people that are excited.
Okay. Yeah. What else? Yeah. People don't. One, they don't want to diffuse your excitement. Okay. And two, it also brings curiosity. Right? You know, it's like, oh, what are you excited about? Wait, what? Right? It's contagious. Enthusiasm. And look, this is not my nature, okay? I'm not that guy. I'm not the social butterfly being excited about everything. I only get passionate about one thing before Primerica, sports. That was it. Anything else, I didn't care about it. I never got excited. But, you know, I got excited. I used to tell people all the time, when I started here, I was so excited. I just pretended I wasn't. I really was. I was like, man, I can make a brand. I like it. I can learn about money, the override thing, all that stuff. I loved it all. The circles and the override. I was like, man, if I could have 10 people. And I started thinking the possibility. I could have an office. What if I had more people? And I saw it in my mind. And I got so excited. And yes, some people aren't as excited as you are. That's okay. But you still got to say, hey, I'm really excited. I know it's hard for people to do that. I'm in training. Why do you have to say I'm going through training? Because then they can't ask you a lot of questions. Our job is not to do an interview over the phone. It's to do an or appointment over the phone. It's to do the appointment in person, right? I'm going through training right now. Most important, help, right? I need your help. That's the most important thing that you can say. I need your help in order to get my license, in order to complete my training. And referrals, right? You may even be able to refer somebody to me. So, hey, Sarvel, I need to ask you for a favor. I just started working with a financial company. I'm really excited. I need your help. With my training, I have to witness 10 training presentations in order to get my license. If you would make me willing to help me out, it would really mean a lot to me. What is it about? It's financial services. I just started working with a company. I'm really excited about it. I just need help with my training. Get 30 to 40 minutes of help. It really means a lot to me. Do I have to buy anything? There's no cost, no obligation. Just my training. Will you help me out for 30 to 40 minutes? It really means a lot to you. You see the theme, right? Why does my spouse need to be there? In order for me to complete my training and get full credit, I need for both of you to be there. Can you help me for 34 minutes? It will really mean a lot to me. Let me check with my wife. Okay? Okay, well, let's just pencil it in for this day. If you need to reschedule, just let me know. I just want to get you on my training schedule because he or she is very busy, so which day works better for you, okay? And I think there's another script on here that I'll go through. Okay. So, you have to schedule them and get them to meet with you and their spouses with them, and they don't call you the day of or the day before and reschedule. Okay? That's the key right here. Okay? You have to schedule them and get them to meet with you and the spouses with them. And they don't call you the day of or the day before to reschedule. That's what we have to eliminate. If you have to constantly chase people, it will exhaust your emotional energy, right? So, I call Peter for an appointment. Peter uses the standard American response. He says, let me check with my wife. Okay? Is it possible, while I've got you here on the phone, can we discuss a possible time that you think will work for you? And if it doesn't work, you can call me back today or tomorrow. See how nice that is, how sweet that is, right? Ask kindly, is it possible while I've got you here on the phone, can we discuss a possible time that you think will work for you? And if it doesn't work, you can call me back today or tomorrow. What do you, when you read that, it's like a commitment but without a commitment. Right? Is it possible? That's number one, right? While I've got you here on the phone, can we discuss a possible time, that's number two, that you think, that's three, will work for you, and if it doesn't work, that's four, you can call me back. It's 4 times. You're not backpedaling or backtracking, you're just giving them a soft commitment. Because what's going to happen? I'm going to call Peter, I'm going to get a time from him, it's Monday, I get a time Thursday night at 6 o'clock for him and Tia. I know they're going to be home. They're not going to be doing anything. They got a kid, they're going to be at home, he's just getting off work. If I tell him this script, right, he says, I'm going to talk to my spouse. How about we go ahead while I've got you on the phone, let's tentatively put something down. If it doesn't work, you can just call me back. Would that be okay? Right? And remind me to go back to the Thursday 6 hours. It's always how you ask kindly. You get something scheduled, you don't have to chase them, right? Can you? Okay. So, Peter, on Thursday night, gets home at 5 o'clock, and then he thinks in his head, this is what everybody thinks, oh man, Shaq's coming over tonight. Oh, I really don't want to. Isn't, so you think you can dance all tonight? Right? That's what you watch? Casper, we know you watch it. You're going to try out for it, right?
Yeah.
Go, tell me, I'll go. But, so, he's, oh man, isn't this on? Or man, we got this, or oh man, we're going to watch House of Cards, or whatever they're going to do on Thursday. Whatever, you know, we were planning to go out to eat, we wanted, you know, to go out for dinner. Oh man. But I told him I'd call him the day before, and he's coming over with a trainer. I can't reschedule him to do the appointment. Right? There's a famous story in our business. One of the most famous guys at Primerica. And an appointment that led him to have one of the biggest businesses in the company, a guy named Hector Lamarck, called Rick Susie for an appointment. It was the day Rick Susie got told he was not going to get a bonus from his company, and was pissed. And this is back in the 80s, so there was no cell phones, there's no pagers. And he gets home and he tells his wife the bad news at work. He's like, oh man, they told me. Rick Susie tells his wife, man, I didn't get this bonus. There's a huge bonus I was waiting for. And he goes, oh man, Hector's coming over. Let me call him right now to reschedule. He picks up the phone. As he picks up the phone, what happened? Knock, knock, knock. Hector's there. And then Rick Susie went on, in that first year, made $232,000 of income. Because Hector Lamarck was at 70 grand of income, and the year he hired Rick Susie, he went to 455. And the next year he went to 800. From getting that appointment. You're one recruit away, if you do the appointment. Hector showed up, right? You got to go do these appointments. Rick Susie's got one of the best hierarchies in the company, if not the best right now. Right? You hire the right person, you can't even stop it. Right? You can't even slow your income down. Ask them to be flexible. It's very important. Why? Because if you're ever late to an appointment, you're going to feel really bad. And sometimes it's inevitable to be late. Traffic, accidents, you know, the sun is out, so people drive slow, right? It rains really hard. I mean, something, you know, anything can happen, you know. Your appointment could go long, the other appointment could come late. You got to be flexible with your time. Hey, can you be flexible with the time in case we get there a little bit early or late? Sometimes you may show up early too. Traffic wasn't heavy that day. You got there 20 minutes early, just ask them. They may say, no, we can't be flexible, we have a limited amount of time. Okay, you know where you are, right? Make it very clear that we need the spouse. Is this definitely a good time for your spouse? Peter, is this definitely a good time for Tia? Because I need both of you to be there in order for this to come to my training. Be skilled. Elevate the importance in their mind, the level of importance of training. Do me a favor, Peter or John. I don't know if you have a place where you write stuff down, but if for any reason that time is not good for you, if at all possible, can you let me know at least a day or two ahead? The reason I'm asking is because I'm bringing my trainer with me and I need to coordinate with them. And if you call me the day before, it doesn't give me enough time to schedule someone else in that spot. I'll go through it one more time. If for any reason that time is not good for you, if at all possible, can you let me know at least a day or two ahead? The reason I'm asking is because I'm bringing my trainer with me and I need to coordinate with them. And if you call me the day before, it doesn't give me enough time to schedule someone else in that spot. People will say yes, and more appointments will stick, and less will reschedule. What is it about? It's a little hard to explain over the phone, but it's finance, how many works, financial services. You did a great job explaining that, and I'm really excited about it. It's Tuesday at 6 p.m. Good. Okay? Now, this is the most important thing in the whole presentation. Questions equal control. Okay? This is something that has to be a way of life for us. Okay? So I'm trying to set an appointment with Marilyn and her husband. And she says, let's have an open dialogue. Okay, I really want you to just, you know, she says, what's it about? And I say, it's a little hard to explain over the phone, but it's finance, how many works, financial services, and I'm really excited about it. Then what would you say?
What kind of finances?
Okay, you see that? See? If I just make a statement, it's just natural. She didn't know I was going to do this. She just fires another question. That's just that's how you do it. What kind of question is that? What kind of finances? Money. I don't know. Greens. Right? She's like, what kind? You get these questions. There's no answer for that because that is literally the stupidest question in the world. But that's what people do.
That's what they say.
Right? What kind of finances? When you say 30 to 45 minutes, is it more 30 or more 45? 15 minutes. Shut up. Right? I mean, that's like a perfect example, right? People just gotta fire a question. But if I say, is Tuesday at 6 p.m. good? She says, yes, I'm in control, right? Because I left with a question. If you just make a statement, they're going to start asking questions. What's it about? How long is it? What exactly are we going to be discussing? You know, do I have to have personal information? Do I have to buy anything? It's just question after question. And you're just statement, question. But if I answer it, it's a little hard to explain over the phone. But it's finance. How many works? Financial services. I'm really excited. Is Tuesday at 6 p.m. good? Just keep going there. Is Tuesday at 6 p.m. good? Is Tuesday at 8 p.m. good? Will Jerome be there? You know, question. Set up the appointment. Or else, that was I couldn't have paid her money for a better appointment because that's exactly what people do. And I see them on the point like, you were trying to set up, what were you talking about? How did you go into the Federal Reserve? I don't understand, and Greenspan, and the election, and what happened? Like, that should not happen. It's, I need your help, I need training, it's financial services, it'll really help me. I'm coming over with my trainer, call me the day or two before, and that's it. And you set the appointment. So the questions equals control, you get off the phone. One thing I always use, okay, especially if I have any sort of relationship with somebody for it, I always use my ace in the hole. Hey, Shaq, if you call me and ask me how what I say, they're fighting you, right? Sometimes they'll fight you, right? They're just giving you a hard time. You know, you have people like that. They're just difficult people, right? Yeah. You know, what is it? Why is it that? This and that. They're going to do it. They're going to help you, but they're just making you work way too hard for this appointment. Corey, if I called you and asked you for help, what would you? Corey, if you called me and asked me for help, what would I say to you? I'll be there. And I wouldn't even let them answer. I'll be there tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Make sure Clint is there. Okay, I need your help. I'm not going to ask you about that money you borrowed from me. You never paid it back. Okay? Remember those DVDs you took? You promised me you give them back in a week, right? Remember when I watched your kids and this and that, and you said, I need a favor. I'm going to be like, sometimes you just got to bow up, right? You don't have to be rude or aggressive, but you just be, hey, Corey, if you called me and asked me for help, what would I say to you? I always help you. You're not saying that, but you're saying that with these words. I always help you. I'm always there for you. Anytime you need me, pick you up, you know, flat tire, whatever, borrow money, you know, use my stuff, watch your kids, you watch my kids. Come on, right? I'm already nervous about setting an appointment. You're the first person I call. You're going to give me a hard time? I'll be there tomorrow at 6 o'clock, right? One of those slides before, you have to elevate the importance. You have to be excited about it. You have to elevate. And I know this doesn't come natural. You got to practice a lot. But if you don't set appointments, nothing's going to happen. You cannot do this business by osmosis, right? It doesn't happen just in training. You got to go out there and freaking just set appointments, right? Set 3 to 6 appointments immediately. It's like getting in a cold pool of water, right? Anybody ever try to go into a cold swimming pool? Right? You go in fast or slow? You just jump in? Right? Why is it stupid to go in slow? Which I always do that. I always go in slow. It's the dumbest thing in the world. But number one, you look like you. Right? And in half an hour, you're still cold. You're freaking freezing. It's like you just killed yourself. If you jump in, you get it over with. Right? Band-Aid, you take it out fast or slow, right? Fast. Slow is torture. Always remember that. Slow is torture. You're torturing yourself. You're killing yourself. You're agonizing yourself. Right? It's like a textbook for swimming. Right? My kids are in swimming, right? You can't learn how to swim from a book or watching people on TV. Right? None of us can swim, and we read up on it. Density, buoyancy, we know all the strokes, how long the fastest human beings can swim, and then everything. And our final exam is we have to jump in a pool and swim. We all drown. Right? Because how do you learn how to swim? You got the floaties on, you swallow the water, you cough, someone holds you up, they teach you they first teach you how to go underwater, and then breathe, and then open your eyes underwater, and then swim to the wall, and then that's what they do. That's what my kids, that's how they learn. Not a book, it's not reading. Now, yes, after they're learning, they can look and say, oh, okay, and kind of maybe coordinate, hand-eye coordination, but you learn from freaking jumping in the pool. You learn the business in the field. Every client has the same problems, the same questions, and we have the same. Now, I know everybody's unique, but they're not unique. Everybody's got the same issues. They're underinsured. They have no insurance. They have bad insurance. They have an 401k. They need a Roth IRA. They need to save money. They need an emergency fund. They need a plan. They need to not get a tax refund. We do all that. But it all starts with setting appointments.